It's never a religious war. It's about, a political war, which is we, the people, have nothing to do with this. It's governments, it's politics, and we don't want it. We want to live in peace. We want justice for everyone. And they issued a military order. The military order said that this is a closed zone for military, and we should leave. The owners, we should leave, and they put the settlers. And since it's a military zone, why would there be any citizens there? This is an apartheid, government. I call it it's fear. They fear because they are the one who are really stealing lands. That's why when you steal something, you are afraid. Your heart always beating.
Thanks for tuning in again to Freiheitsliebe im Gespräch. We have a very special guest today. It's Alice Kisiya from the Westbank. Hello, Alice, and thanks for taking the time.
Hi, Jacob. It's my honor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. For almost a year now, the international focus lies almost exclusively on the Gaza Strip and the catastrophic war waged against its people there. But all the injustice in the West Bank don't get much attention, unfortunately. Alice, you come from a valley called Al-Makhrour, west of Bethlehem, in the southern part of the occupied West Bank. On July 31st, your home was seized by radical Israeli settlers. As a start to this conversation, please tell our viewers what exactly happened that day.
Okay. So the 31st of July, young settlers, came with the protection of the army, and they started to expel us, and they take our things out without any official documents or any official permission or even an eviction order from the court. Since we have a court decision from 2023, recognize our official documents that came from the civil administration since 2014. And the judge recognized these documents, and they were claiming that they bought the land in 69, which they didn't prove that at the court, and the judge didn't recognize their documents because it was fake. They said that these documents are in the archive of the state. The agreement on our land is in the archive of the state. So we went to the archive of the state and we searched for this agreement, and we find it empty. So the judge said that the land is still under the name of its owner, which is from our tribe. And
Yes.
the land, there were no any agreements made on this land or any other lands in Al-Makhrour. And this is a way of the JNF, the Jewish National Fund, that taking advantage of the war or even the corona, and they are trying to steal more lands. They send the settlers to take us out, though we've been there more than 40, 50 years. And, they didn't respect any order or any court decision. And they issued a military order. The military order said that this is a closed zone for military, and we should leave. The owners, we should leave, and they put the settlers. And since it's a military zone, why would there be any citizens there? This is an apartheid, government, and they kicked us out, and they kept the settlers in a military closed zone. And though the military closed zone, it was issued for 1 month, the name of the area written in the military order, it's for another area that Smotrich established near Batir. It's for like 4 kilometers. And they are using that name to include our area. And I have maps and documents prove that this is not Wadi Khalis as they claim. This is Wadi Al-Makhrour. as it is also confirmed from the civil administration, as it is Wadi Al-Makhrour or Al-Qusayr, not Wadi Khalid. So since that day, we've been going back and forth with the activists, with organizations, with people that are joining us from churches, from members of Knesset, from the PA authorities. So unfortunately, they issued another military order, including the whole area for 24 hours, so they can take also the solidarity tent that we set up there. But that doesn't mean that we will back down. I'm still working on the case. I'm still setting up strategies, and I'm taking back what belonged to me.
Okay, so maybe not to disclose too much, but what is your strategy? Like, how is the fight going on with you? And I also read about your mom, like that you fight together with your mom. What are your
Yes, with the whole
strategies?
family, we were arrested together as well.
Yes,
Um, it's so many strategies legally, advocacy here, there. We have so many strategies. Um, what I want to say that I'm not sleeping. I'm working, and I will come back. And since it's a military order area or zone, so they have nothing to do there. They are not allowed to even put a tent or even to put a light. So
yes,
they are there guarding my land until I get it back. I don't mind.
yes. Okay, you said that you yes, you said that you got arrested, like you and your family. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, actually, the first day when they came, the 31st of July, when this mess happened, I called the police and they came arrested my brother. This is the first arrest. Okay.
On
Though
what
I want to
grounds? Like,
mention that
what did they say? Why? What was the explanation?
there is no explanation.
Yes, okay.
So I want to mention that this thing happened. The settlers tried to come in the 1st of May 2024, and
Mm,
they tried to do the same way. And I called the police. They were alone without the army. I called the
yeah,
police, and the police came with the army. They talked to the legal advisor of the civil administration, and she told them that the settlers have nothing to do there and kick them out. So they kicked them out, and we stayed there because it's our land. But this time, with the support of Smutrich and Ben Gvir, with the land thefts and the JNF, they succeed, but they didn't still take it. This is not a victory. Actually, hiding behind a military order, it's not a victory.
yes,
It's I call it it's fear. They fear because they are the one who are really stealing lands. That's why
yes,
when you steal something, you are afraid. Your heart always beating.
yes.
So I'm really calm. I'm working on my case very carefully, and for the another arrest, my mom and I was arrested 2 times. The first time it was for investigation, and they let me out with a restraining order from my land, and also for my brother and for my mother, restraining orders they got from the land. And the second time I got arrested, they kept me one night in the jail, and the second time I went to a hearing in the court, and then they let me out under the conditions of also restraining order and not talking to the settlers for 60 days and paying penalty.
You said that you got a restraining order, but what did they accuse you? Did they say anything officially? What laws did you break, or what's the accusation?
They were saying that I wasn't obeying the commander. He said that it's a military order, so I disobeyed their order being in
Yeah,
that area
yeah,
in a military zone, and I hit settlers, and I was stealing the settler's car, and I had like maybe 6, 7 accusations. I don't know what, because when I went to the police station, I had 3, 4 accusations, and when I went to the court, there were 7, 8 accusations.
Okay.
And when they released me, there were no any really real accusation written
Yeah.
even in the protocol. It's
Okay.
like they didn't prove anything. They were planning to get me in the jail for many long time, but
Yeah.
uh, God is leading me and protecting me, so I don't afraid the evil.
Okay. That's good. Earlier you talked about fear and being afraid. That reminded me of also something. There are many videos and photos of you, like from the takeover on 31st of July and also other days, where you like physically confronting the settlers, and those settlers are also, and sometimes like they're heavily armed, like with their guns and rifles hanging around them. Um, like how do they react to you when you also like boldly confront them? And like, aren't you also afraid that one day one of those extremists could snap and shoot their guns at you?
No,
No.
I'm not afraid. You know, the the darkness inside them, they can sense the fearness. Sorry for this example. Like a dog, when you are afraid of him, when you run, he go after you. When you come closer to him and
Yeah.
show him that you are not afraid, you can confront the dog. So it's the same. The sense of fear, they can sense it, or the humans can sense the fearness. So
Yes.
when you show them that you're not afraid, and there is nothing to be afraid, because for me, if you have a gun, you are afraid because of the things around you.
Yes.
So I'm unarmed and I'm not afraid. This is stronger than having a weapon, and even the words I'm telling them, it's stronger than the weapons that they have. And plus that I'm not really aggressive or violent. I'm just defending my land, and they know that this is a stolen land. That's why they are afraid, not me. I have the right to defend myself and my land and my family against the thieves. So no, I'm not afraid, and I don't know. I have this faith inside of me to confront any evil power or darkness or settlers, let's call it.
Yes. Okay, but did you get injured at one point, or like was it like more
They
like I don't
were
know?
there were some, a little bit violent from them. They were trying to come close to me or to push me. Even the soldiers.
Yes.
Yes, and yes, their dog bite my friend, one of the activists, in her leg, and he almost got my mom, and also he got a French journalist, and the ambulance, the Magen David, refused to take care of him, of the foreign journalist. And also the army and the police were so aggressive at some point, and because we were protesting peacefully, and they were using stun grenades, pushing, and uh, s- they were beating girls sometimes, pushing them, and it was crazy. But at some point, we were not afraid to defend our land or our rights as human beings, because
Yes.
I am Palestinian, but I have an Israeli citizenship. My father is Palestinian, my mother is from 48.
Yes.
So um, I have rights like any citizen here, and
Yes.
I know they don't compare Arabs as settlers, but somehow my Israeli friends and Jews, they saw that this danger is coming somewhere, or like in one day they will come to them, and they will face the same danger,
Yes.
because this time it's on me, next time it's for them.
Okay. Okay. Now you're talking a bit like about your identity a bit. So let's follow up on that. Your family is Christian. And I think many people, at least in the West, are not even aware of the fact that there are Christian Palestinians and even some few Jewish Palestinians. Could you please talk about that a bit? Like how many Christians are there in the West Bank? How is the relationship between Christian and Muslim Palestinians? And does it even matter or doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. We are all facing the same occupation. Even
Yeah.
Jewish, we have Jewish Palestinians. We
Yes.
have also Jewish Israelis that are standing and defending the
Yes.
Palestinians' rights. Christians, Muslims, they never had a problem living together. And before the 48, there were Christians, Muslims, and Jews, neighbors living door to door, and there were no problems before that. So it's very important to understand that this is a holy land, the holy land, the three religions, the cradle of the three
Yes.
religions and the cradle of Jesus Christ and prophets. So we are respecting each other's here. It's never a religious war. It's about, a political war, which is we, the people, have nothing to do with this. It's governments, it's politics, and we don't want it. We want to live in peace. We want justice for everyone. And this especially Al-Makhrour. It's the last Christian village, and it's a UNESCO heritage site. It's very important, and it's 91% lands are for Christians here in Behtlehem. And to talk about Christians in general in Palestine or Bethlehem, it's 0.0 something. Christians started to immigrate since 48, but we still have Christians here.
Yes.
We are a minority, but we have rights like any others. But because this is also a very important Christian city, Christian, like, the cradle of Jesus Christ, the Holy Land. So we have rights and we have power to say no to occupation, to displacement, to demolitions, and we are facing the same like any other people are facing here in the face of occupation.
Yes. And I guess in Nablus, for example, there's the tomb of Joseph, if I'm not wrong, right? Wasn't it? But yeah,
Um,
I think in Nablus
and,
there's this,
there
the
are in Nablus and Jenin, there are Christians in
yes,
Gaza, in the Westbank, in Jerusalem, everywhere.
yes,
We are
yes,
we're living everywhere like we are normal. This is our country as well,
yes, yes.
and we have rights.
Um, okay, now that we talked about your family being Christian, did you receive any support from Christian associations or other religious groups from all over the world or something? Or they don't
Yes,
care?
for now, no, for now they are doing a very good job.
Yes,
The church councils have made a statement. They will send it to the Congress. They are already made a statement by bishops from the UK in the House of Lords, the
yes.
Parliament.
Ah, okay.
Uh, and it's getting viral. It's getting bigger, and it's very big. And the thing that people were thinking that this is a religious war between Jews and Muslims, so it's not. It was never, and it will never be
Yes,
religious war. We are facing the same destiny.
yes, yes, yes.
So yes, churches are moving now, and we are making 29th of September an interfaith solidarity
Okay,
around the world, and there will be around 30 country is organizing this with us. We're gonna pray, um, sharing the prayers from here, from Bethlehem to the whole world at the
okay,
same time. So
okay.
we are
That's
asking, yes, it's an interfaith, non-political solidarity.
yes, yeah. That sounds great. You also mentioned that your valley became a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Like I guess in 2014 it was.
14, yes,
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 like
2014.
the Al-Makhrour Valley and like the surrounding area, I guess, right? And
Yes, Makhrour, Batir, and areas around.
yes, what is the significance of that? Like, why did that happen actually? Can you talk about that a bit?
It's a very ancient agriculture area. It was from the Romans' time, and it's very ancient. It has historical, it's a historical place. Um, it's also about the springs, the water that it has, the terraces that they were built since the Romans' time, and it's the last green area here in Bethlehem,
Yes.
connecting four or five cities together and close to the Jerusalem. It's in the middle between Bethlehem and Jerusalem,
Yeah.
and making a settlement here would disconnect Bethlehem than other cities, and making it smaller for people in Bethlehem.
Yes. Yeah, right. You also mentioned that briefly. But can you talk a bit more about that? Like, what's the plan of the Israeli settlers now? Like, they took over your house, like your compound, and but they talk about the settlement, please, that they want to build.
The settlement that Smotrich issued, it's in Batir. They called it Wadi Haletz. It's
Yeah.
called Al-Khammar. They are changing the names of the countries, the places. They are changing. They are playing with the names in order
Yes.
to get it to to make it as if it was in Torah.
Yes.
The settlement, it's near Al-Makhrour, but it's like 4 or 5 kilometers away. It's
Yes.
not even related to Al-Batir in somehow. Um, and there is no settlement in Al-Makhrour. I want to make you point to this thing. There is no settlement there, but the settlement in Wadi Khalat, which is next to Batir, it might affect the area by building a wall separating our area, Bethlehem, than the settlement or the other settlements that connecting Asyon or Beitar Elit to Jerusalem. So they are trying to connect all the settlements together through Al-Makhrour or Batir.
Yes. Okay. You mentioned 2 or 3 times now Smotrich. Of course, that is Bezalel Smotrich, like the finance minister of Netanyahu, and who's also in charge of the West Bank affairs. So some people call him, like for example, the governor of the West Bank, because that's what he basically is. Can you please talk about his role a bit? Like, who's this guy?
He's a criminal.
Yes.
This is the
Yes.
He's a criminal that he found a chair in this government, and he doesn't want to bring any peace. He wants war, and he wants to take all lands, and he's stealing lands, and he's supporting the settlers with their violence and with their land thefts.
Yes.
I don't know how a government would hire a criminal that has a criminal records like Smotrich and Ben-Gvir to
Yeah.
lead. I don't know how. It's
Yes.
like nonsense. So he's trying to steal more lands in order to about the two-state solutions. He's trying to steal more lands in order to stop the solution.
Yes. Yes. Okay, then let's zoom out a bit. Of course, Al-Makhrour area is not the only area that is affected by, land theft. That is a process going on since the Six-Day War in 1967, when West Bank and also Gaza were occupied by Israel. So can you talk about this a bit? Like, how's the situation? Like, like the settlement expansion, the development in the West Bank? Please talk a bit more broadly.
Yeah, in the last 20 years, there were uh, many settlements have built, and they are expanding like cancer. And for me, um, these kind of settlements were not maybe sold to Jews or to settlers, let's say. but it was taken by force. It was taken by faking documents. And our land or our case, it's a very good example of how they were faking documents using the lawyers that the owners of the land hire in order to make a plan on the owners to fake documents to steal land. For example, we changed 6, 7 lawyers in our case because each lawyer deceive us, he betray us. We pay him so much money. The first couple of weeks or months, he gives you the good documents. He shows you that he really works for you, and then after that, or he brings you a demolition order, or he makes you lose the case. This is their strategies, and by using the judge that they work in the courts, they have they choose the same date, the same time, and the judges that they want in order to get the lands that they want.
Yeah.
So basically, it's been land theft since 48 or even before. It was always land theft
Yes.
because this is illegal settlements.
Um, okay, so you're saying rightly that that's been going on for decades, but now since I guess when was it, December 22, we have like the new Netanyahu government, and like by all means, it's like by far the most extremist, the most right-wing government in the history of Israel. Like was the first time also with like super far right, ultra-Orthodox parties in the coalition. So how did this process of land theft, of land grabbing, like change? Was there like a visible change after yeah, this extremist government took over?
Yes, it's visible. It's you can see everywhere, every top hill. They are everywhere. They are controlling all the mountains. They don't want other people than settlers to live here. Even Jewish people, they are not allowing this freedom of people of their rights. So these settlements, it's like surrounding the West Bank like prison.
Yes.
And what is allowed for them is forbidden to us.
Yes. Okay. Like I don't know. It's hard to say maybe, but you know, also the violence in Jenin, for example, is was escalating in the last 2 weeks. Yeah, they destroyed streets and infrastructure there, and you know, like it feels like the war is you know swapping over like to the West Bank from Gaza to West Bank. They apply like similar tactics now in the West Bank, and you know, airstrikes, drone strikes, raids. What do you think? I don't know. What's the vision for the West Bank? What's the plan, the ultimate goal for them in the West Bank?
The displacement, it's obvious. The displacement, the separation of West Bank. Um, it's a way of making people to leave their own lands and they by destroying their houses and demolishing. It's really it's a really bad strategy. The demolition is the worst thing that people would ever face, and actually, it's very heartbreaking. I'm living the same.
Yes. On a personal note, like, where do you live now? Like, exactly, do you live in someone else's house or in a tent, or where do you live just
No,
really
no,
now?
we rented a house and we're living somewhere close here between Jerusalem and Bethlehem.
Okay,
So
okay, but
it's somewhere close.
yes, okay, but you keep fighting to get back your house, right?
Of
Yes,
course, of
yes.
course.
Um, okay, so like I don't know if there's anything like the outside world can do. Like, what can I don't know, people in Europe, people in Germany can do to support your case?
I already told you about the 29, the global community, the interfaith solidarity,
Yes.
this thing that would be very helpful because we want to make the West to wake up the West about the Christians and about what's happening in the Christians for the Christians here in Bethlehem and in the West Bank, because the churches have so much power to stop everything that's happening here. So when they move for Christians, they will move for the entire world. And this is my point. They should start moving. They should start acting, not only talking. And the West, all the people in the West should know that there are Christians, Muslims, Jews are united against the occupation and against the evil.
Yes. Okay, then I think that's it for now. Yeah, I just want to like send the greatest solidarity from us lefties in Germany. Yeah, and we
Thank you.
really hope and we have our fingers crossed that you will succeed in taking back your house. And I thank you very much for taking the time
Thank
to
you,
do
Jacob.
this. Thank you, Alice.
Thank you so much. Take
Um,
care.
okay, you take care. And yeah, best wishes also to your mom and the rest of your family, please.
Thank you so much.
Okay.